Welcome to the Texas Real Estate Radio Network with Mr. Texas Real Estate Jason Bible and Mr. California Investor Robert Orfino. Join us as Jason and Robert talk about the hottest real estate market in the country, the entire state of Texas. Learn why Texas is such a great market to invest in and why it could be strong for years to come. Get ready to talk all things Texas on your new home on the way to the office. Texas Real Estate Radio.
Welcome to the show, Jason Bible Robert Orfino. What?
These eXp guys won't leave us alone.
So I've been real hesitant to talk about. We did one show on eXp, and you would not believe the amount of emails and text messages and all that. Like, everyone's shocked, right?
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So everyone's still in kind of shock mode.
Yes.
And
I get it.
So they're all still in shock mode right now. And we wanted to have you guys back to talk a little bit more about eXp and why we joined and all that stuff. But like I said, I mean, the world's still, they're still getting over the news. There's politics, and there's coronavirus, and there's Mr. Texas Real Estate with eXp.
Yes,
that's how big a deal it has
yes,
become.
Absolutely. I'm going to tell my quick story. So you met with Brant and Chris, and they gave you the. I tell you seriously, the eXp guys are everywhere, right? So anyway, they trapped you, right? They got you cornered.
I can't remember where.
And they're like, and so his exit is always, you got to talk to Rob.
That is, yeah, that's right.
You just go talk to Rob. That's the exit always, right?
I don't make any decisions, man. You got to talk to Rob.
Go talk to our partner. So they came up to the new building, and it's before we started the demo or stuff, and they sat down, and I had already looked through the website, so I'm like, okay, I just need to know like 2 questions, right? Mm-hmm. I got them answered, and then Brant would not shut up. He kept going on and on. I'm like, dude, we're in. I just need to know how the stocks options work. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And so for me, I get a little frustrated, and this is why we are having our structure is so amazing that we can just refer them to Chris and Brant, who can talk for hours and hours about this stuff. I look at someone and say, so you don't want stock options and you don't want residual income. Is that what you're telling me? Well, I've been with so-and-so for many years. Okay, I don't really have any more time to talk to you. I've got so much more to do. This is a no-brainer. Stock options, residual income, what's holding you back? So maybe I'm not the best ambassador to this. Mm-hmm.
I'm the same way because I'm like, we're just trying to buy $1 billion in real estate.
We're just trying to move,
like, this is why we're doing this. It's probably a good fit for you too, but I don't.
It's a great fit for everyone. And so sometimes, you sit there and you bang your head against the wall and you're like, what are you not getting, right? And so maybe it's that discomfort of doing something new. And we've told them over and over and over, there is a massive structure on the other side. It's not virtual like it's a whole bunch of videos you watch. It's virtual in that there are a whole bunch of people around the world ready to serve you.
Yeah.
So talk about that transition, because it is hard for some people and frustrating for me.
I get everything that y'all are saying. I'm the guy who I got licensed in 2009, right before I quit my corporate job to go full-time in real estate, and I pretty much didn't tell anybody I had a license for 7-8 years, and then I deactivated my license. I had a full-time agent on staff. I got into real estate like you guys. I want to create wealth. I want to create passive income. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. Having a real estate license didn't check any of those boxes. So, I get it. I was a real estate investor who had a license, just didn't use it for those reasons. So I was sitting in a CE class several years ago, said this isn't no passive income, no wealth creation. I left the class, deactivated it, moved on, a full-time agent on staff doing all my stuff. And then I was blindsided by this man to my right, Connor Steinbrook, who we just chance meeting at a Quest event up in Dallas, and he had the stage. I was doing a private lender lunch and learn, and Quest sponsored the lunch. So I'm like, I get to hear Connor speak because I'd never met him before. I'd seen him on social media. Obviously, he's going to talk about private money. He gets up and he talks about eXp Realty. I'm like, what in the hell is eXp Realty? Mm-hmm. And so it blindsided me. And he, we schedule a time. He's like, I need, 30 to 60 minutes of your time to take a look at this. I'm like, I'm a busy guy. I don't have time for that. Got a lot going on. Wife and 5 kids. Real estate company. I deactivated my license. Not really interested. You're Connor Steinbrook. All right, I'll give you 30 minutes. So I sat down, watched it, said, holy bleep. I'm probably going to have to do this. Have my wife, I said, babe, you know how busy I am? I need reasons not to do this. I need you to take a look at this. She watched the 30-minute video. She looked at me and she said, no, I think you better do that. So long story short, 2 years ago, I took time to look at the model. And Robbie, you hit the nail on the head. Whenever I looked at it, I'm like, I'm already in real estate. I'm buying, flipping houses, renting houses, doing deals. This company is now going to give me equity in their company. They're going to give me an additional income stream. They're going to feed leads to me, investment leads also for free. They're going to give me. Now they're giving me a medical plan where I was paying $1,400 a month. The Blue Cross Blue Shield's gone to $600. So they gave me all these value adds to my business. It was an absolute no-brainer. You guys are really smart. There's some other people in Houston that are really, really smart. So my conversation now with, I'm talking to agents, investors like, do you know Jason and Robert? Do you know many, many other names I won't mention? It's like, so if you're saying no, I would like to know why you think you're so much smarter than these guys who are very, very...
And Connor, I hate to go down the road about life-changing and all that other stuff. That's usually not how I describe things. But when you look at the eXp model and the way that it can impact folks that have been, the best way to slugging along with real estate ups and downs in this market for 10 years or so, it is actually a life changer.
Legitimately,
yeah. Again, and we are in an industry where, it's not a young man's game, right? There are a lot of folks, I don't know what the average age of a real estate agent is, I'm sure someone can let us know, but I got to believe it's probably 50 or so plus. And at that point in your life, you're realizing 65 is only around the corner, and it may not be as great as I thought it was going to be. And along comes eXp that says, hey, we can help you there.
Right. It's giving them an exit to the business. So a lot of agents are money free, but they're not time and money free. And a lot of them are not real estate investors, so they don't understand the power of residual income. So everybody wants more income streams, but most people want time. You can't coach your kid's soccer team, you can't go on vacations. If you're always caught on the active income hamster wheel, how are you going to enjoy the money that you make? You see this commonly with high income earners, doctors, attorneys. It's this balancing act where they like to make money, they trade all their time to create the money, and then they want to spend the money over here, go on vacations, spend it with their family, then they go over here and they're feeling guilty that they're not with their business, and vice versa, and it's this emotional trap. So there is no exit path for agents unless they invest into real estate or they go create extra income streams, but this is giving them a long-term retirement plan as well as a protection measure that if they can't trade time for checks, meaning they can't sell real estate for 3 or 4 months, they got sick, they have to take care of their parents, their children, their grandchildren, whatever it is, when you get to a couple $1,000s a month in residual income coming in, whether or not you sell a house, it takes the pressure off your active income business because we know it fluctuates. Some months you sell 10 houses, some months you sell 0, some months you sell 4, and you don't know when the next check is coming essentially. So this is giving them a protection measure for the lulls in their active income business.
So the median age for a real estate agent is 53. And so a lot of people are just looking at the retirement.
12 years to retire.
Yeah, I know, it's 12. Well, but everyone also focuses solely on the retirement piece. You can be medically retired or temporarily out of work because you just can't work. A life issue comes up, mom and dad got to move in, whatever it is, right? And here you're stuck with, you're not able to work and build that active income. Now what are you going to do, right?
And again, we see this over and over in our industry. We're going to talk more about this when we come back. This is Robert Jason. We're talking eXp today on the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We'll be back.
Welcome back. Jason Bible Robert Orfino. We're talking eXp today. I think when we made that announcement about a month ago, things just went apoplectic.
Freaked
it was
a couple people out.
Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What are you guys doing? And it was, like I said, we're just underneath coronavirus and riots for Google News right now. Mr. Texas.
I do want to tip my cap to Keller Williams. On the way out, they were really gracious.
Yes.
They understood. They understood that we have a huge building and it didn't fit into their boundaries, and that was going to be a problem. And so it was really. No,
they're great. They're great. Yeah. It was like, hey, you guys are building this like market center. We're like, no, it's just a building. They're like, so you're building it, and we're like, ooh, this is not.
Yeah. Then we started remembering how that structure's set up, and I'm like, oh, we need to.
We're stepping all over the
shift,
toes.
and then here comes a brokerage that's almost worldwide, right? So.
Well, and we started the vacation club, right? So
Vacation
our travel
club.
club. So
Travel club.
we're going to start buying assets in other markets. We know Vegas is going to be
Vegas and
gonna be
Fort Lauderdale, yeah.
Yeah, Vegas and Fort Lauderdale and Miami are going to be depressed through this whole thing. So we were like, how do we buy houses over there? And so it's much easier to be a part of a brokerage that's national or international at this point, right?
So again, I you know, the joke is, and the half joke, semi-serious, is I'm done in 3 years. Like, I am not going to be working at 7 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night after I'm 55 years old, 56 years old. I've said it all along. My goal, really, when I got into 55 and we got hit with a flood, and I said, okay, I'm going to give you 1 extra year to 56. But when I legitimately look at eXp and say, there is a second exit for me. Like, Jason and I are going to buy $250 million worth of $250 million worth of real estate over the next 5 years, and I'll be part of that. And there'll be lots of residuals and lots of all that stuff. But then I look at eXp and I'm like, my God, we're going to run $250 million worth of procurement through eXp. Then at the end of a 5 to 7 year run, we're going to be dumping that $250 million, which will then be worth almost $500 million, out the door. And in the meantime, we're running 500 leases every year.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow I'm getting a piece of all of that now, beyond just my ownership and having all that other stuff on the stuff that we're building in Mr. Texas Real Estate. And I sat there and my eyes just got super huge, and I was like, Catherine, hurry up and sign up. Hurry up and sign up. Hurry up and sign up. Because I got my wife in. She came in first. And to think, because I talk to guys all the time, and it's like, oh, I've done 500 transactions as an agent. And I'm thinking, how much residuals did you get off that? Was it all churn? And 9 out of 10 times it's churn. It's just going to one to the other to the other. And this eXp really allows you to break that cycle by helping build a group underneath you, right? And sharing your knowledge, as well as the stock options, which just blew my mind. So again, I'm going to come back to Connor because you're the big gatherer here. Obviously, guys like us, it's a no-brainer. We can see it because we're always minimizing and maximizing, right? What's the min-max on all our deals?
Yep.
But what's the approach when you talk to, Harriet and Steve, who've been an agent with, I don't know, whatever, Remax for 25 years, and you're trying to get them over? What's that conversation like?
Yeah, I'll let you have it from a.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll give it to you from a couple of eye sets to look at from. For you guys, obviously, you'd be doing yourself an injustice not to do this. You positioned yourself well previously before coming to the company.
Yep.
And our business model is one that kind of uniquely rewards or punishes you for the person you were in the business you built before you came to the company. So influencers like yourself with this international opportunity, you have a reach all across the country.
Sure.
You help people as well as help yourself, and it's a huge opportunity to scale your business. Now, for the local individual, there's a ton of opportunity. These agents that are doing 100, 150K net a year, that doesn't go as far as it used to go.
Nope.
So now they can acquire equity in the company. A lot of them are icon agents like Brant, where they're getting their cap retained to the company back each year. Along the way, they can use their influence, and most agents build their business through referrals, through credibility, like we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can now reach out to individuals that used to be their competitors. Now they can become their partners. So people are working together as a team now. They're sharing opportunities that they normally wouldn't have with each other. So people are winning together at a level they normally wouldn't. And then the ability to acquire residual income is just something that they can go alongside their business. So you guys are investors a lot on here.
Mm-hmm.
They used to be flip a house, keep a house, flip houses for active income, pay your bills, then own real estate to create your wealth and to create your retirement money freedom. Now it's for agents, sell a house, add an agent. And this building a revenue share team is allowing them to increase their income and protect their family as far as their bills that they have to pay each month. Like they're talking about before, they can't sell a house. So this is a big opportunity for these agents that have been in the business for a long time. A lot of them are getting older, their energy levels are dropping, their excitement about business is dropping, and they don't have a path to exit the business. Yep, and it's reality. And so they look at the stock boards as some kind of loan books. They kind of keep everything close to their chest.
Get going. You don't want to buy the house? I understand that. I'm going to finish my open house, I'm going to have coffee, and we're going to build our team.
Well, I'm a big believer in having the club to swing, meaning just to have a license, just to have an insurance license, whatever it is.
Yep.
It's very easy to go get a real estate license. And you guys right now, if you don't have one,
Yep.
how many times throughout the year does a friend or a family member say, can you help me 5
Right.
out of 6 markets. So that's a 10, 15K check you're leaving on the ground. And the problem is people are not prepared for when opportunities show up. So when it does show up, they say, oh, I need to go get my license. But then it's too late because opportunities are time sensitive.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so one way that the best way I think that I could probably explain this is as I like to talk about Amazon. So, imagine if we had time as you went back 20 years with the ground floor of Amazon. So really what eXp is it's a tech, you got to understand, like our founder, Glenn Sanford, he has a tech background. He came through the real estate space after many, many years in tech, and he saw all the problems with the broker model. He saw the agents, like you mentioned, that are 60, 70 years old, hustling houses and going open. He took the Zig Ziglar approach: if I can just help enough people, I can have anything I want. And what he did was he gave agents ownership in the company, and quite frankly, he pushed out the middleman, which were the middleman broker and franchise agreement. Said, hey, agents, I'm going to give you equity in this company if you help me grow it. I'm not going to give you anything if you don't sell and produce real estate or attract agents to the company. I'm going to pay you for it. I'm going to pay you with revenue share. And we all know, Warren Buffett says you're never going to get rich unless you can make money when you sleep. So he took he took all of this financial education that we know, that we study from Robert Kiyosaki, real estate investors, Rich Dad Poor Dad. He said, look, agents, quite frankly, you're not applying this in your life or in your business. I'm going to help you do it. I'm going to give you equity, ownership for helping me grow this company. I'm going to give you an additional income stream. I'm going to give you leads. I'm going to give you 600-700 full-time employees at your disposal, specialized departments. Now we have medical benefits because we're agent owned and agent grown. So the way I explain it as well for us as real estate investors, this is a bolt-on business to what we're already doing. I've earned 5,000 shares of stock in the company that nowhere else in the brokerage world would offer that to me.
All right, we're going to talk more about this when we come back from the break. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Hey, welcome back. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. That's Dean Martin. For you guys who don't know, that's the last Italian that they let out, and I'm hopefully going to get out myself. So
the last Italian they let out.
Not a big Goomba Italian.
Yeah. It's not.
So. Anyway, we're talking about eXp, and we're talking about not only as an investor making sure that you have your license and you can take advantage of the transactions that are happening in and out, building out a group for yourself. We're also talking about folks that are already real estate agents coming over. Now let's talk about the group that we get all the time, the person who wants to explore becoming an agent. And so we have a pretty easy process. I'm going to let Brent kind of walk through that process. I'm brand new. 28 years old, and I got an aunt who's a real estate agent. She drives a Lexus, and I want to drive a Lexus, so it's time for me to go get my license. Where do we start?
Are we talking about someone who's a real estate investor?
Nope, brand new person.
Brand new.
Yep.
Yeah, so you have two choices.
Lucinda, she works over there.
Okay, everything is online these days. So get your real estate license.
Sure.
You get your real estate license either online or in person. The next thing I would do is you mentioned Keller Williams. I would go read Gary Keller's Millionaire Real Estate Agent book.
Fantastic.
Immediately get your license, and then you got to get plugged in. You got to do what we all did as real estate investors. You got to surround yourself with successful, like-minded people. You need to get in some mastermind groups. I know you guys, when you open the Texas Real Estate Center, you're going to be. Some of your agents are going to be hosting, first-time buyer meetings. You just got to immerse yourself. This whole thing, if you're wanting to create success, this whole thing with work-life balance and all this kind of stuff, yeah, I get it. That is a nice image to have. But we all know that you've got to trade massive amounts of time and sweat equity to create success. So when I'm talking to people that are just getting started, if they're really wanting to create success, that's why I would immerse yourself in this business. But just get signed. You have to make some type of commitment. Just get your license. I've talked to people, I'm sure y'all have too, I met 5-10 years ago. man, I'm going to get into real estate. Man, I'm going to do it 5 years later, a year later, 5 years later.
Right.
Totally
Man,
gonna get
I'm getting, this is the year.
Should have did it,
you know.
remember? Oh, yeah.
Yep, yep. And so it's not that hard. The bottom line is not that hard.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about a license is it's so easy to get. You can be licensed in a month for around $1,000. And right now, unfortunately, we just dealt with the COVID situation, and you're seeing individuals either get laid off, they're losing their primary source of income. There's never been a better opportunity right now to start thinking how to protect the next 6, 12, 24 months of your life. And getting a license is something that's very easy to do, that's going to potentially lead you to run a low-cost or low-risk business as far as capital expenditure on the front end. It's really a time-built strategy and not a risk strategy as far as you can't really go bankrupt doing it. You can just go out there and build a business through growth.
Excellent point.
Yeah, it's hard to go sub-zero, right? Yeah.
Well,
it's pretty easy in a lot of other businesses.
Well, this was what attracted me to real estate was it's self-collateralizing, right? It's not like I got to go beg a bank for $500,000 to start a restaurant, right? The bank's going to tell me what this thing is worth, and they're going to say, this is how much I'm going to lend you, and it's really hard to go outside those bounds. I mean, yeah, you may lose some money, but you're not filing BK if this one flip doesn't work out, right?
Yeah. I mean, every deal we look at our risk and what's our reward, right? Is it worth this risk to get this award? So the value proposition with eXp, assuming you have the license or you're going to spend a month. It's been a while, but I went through all my classes in a week, took the test, and I was done. So, what is your risk here? It's essentially, it's $85 a month to be an eXp. You get your license, you join eXp, $85 a month. That's about it. You have to risk a little bit of time,
right?
Maybe a little bit of ego. I had to risk a little ego because I didn't. You guys risked a little ego. God, we got to tell everybody we're the eXp.
Yeah.
But what is the reward? I've earned thousands of shares of stock. I have 100 and some odd agents in my downline in 12 different states now. Connor's got close to 400 agents in 29 states. In Canada, soon to be Australia, we are getting leads sent to us. I'm saving $600 to $700 a month on medical insurance. Those are the rewards. And the cool thing too, on the revenue share side of things, where basically we're getting compensated by eXp to grow the company. We all own real estate, but my rental properties, for example, they're not going to go out today and go buy other properties for me, right? They're just not going to do that. They don't have that ability. But I have agents almost every day. I know Connor every day, when he logs in, he sees that his agent count has grown really every day because agents are coming in. Robert, you said this is changing lives.
Right.
So I've gone to every eXp conference and every shareholder summit that we've had. And every one that I go to, there will be an agent who's on stage that's talking about how eXp's changed their life. Because an agent, single mother, for example, who's earning, an extra $1,000 a month, changes their lives. And so it's just it is an incredible opportunity. I try not to get too excited about it, but I do.
Yep.
I do, and I want to share it with people. And I like to build my wealth and create passive income and help my family. And when you see other people do it and experience it as well, you get fired up about it. I can go get on a bike right now and ride a bike, but when my 5-year-old for the first time takes off trails, it's like you get excited about it. So that's what we're doing. We're spreading the message. The hardest, I know for me, the hardest challenge. Everyone listen to this. Is just to stop and take a look at the model. That's all we say, because when you pros and cons, it comes down to, are you in the real estate space? Okay, do you have equity in your company? Are you getting passive? All these things, the answer is no to all these other companies. So, it's not a sales pitch from us. It's a business decision. Here's the opportunity. You take advantage of it. You don't. There's literally janitors from Amazon who are multi-millionaires because they're on the ground floor. And that's the other thing that's exciting for Connor and myself and you guys, is because we're still at the ground floor of this thing. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're just now getting market penetration. And there's a joke when you look at successful businesses is, this business came out of nowhere. Well, they've been around for 10 years, right? So usually when that business hits that 10-year mark, that Amazon, Apple, Tesla, right? And now eXp hitting that 10-year mark. You see that hockey stick sort of growth.
Yeah, the hockey stick is from 10 to 20.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like, oh, okay, well, we wish we were here 10 years ago.
Yeah, we wish we were here 10 years
Yeah.
ago. So we're here now, yet in. You have a company that is willing to give you stock rewards at a discount, no less, right? So go ahead and get those, as well as building your team, because this is it's the fast-going brokerage in the company, and that means that more and more people are aware of the brand and are going to come to you and be in your group. And that's just how it works. So if you're interested, 281-401-9008, 281-401-9008. Go ahead and text eXp, and we'll get you going out there. We are absolutely growing our team. We've got special clubs. We've got stuff for beginners. We want to make sure, and then again, all the stuff that Brent and Chris do, and Connor, there's a whole extra layer of understanding and giving you sort of the street level knowledge to go out and be successful and really sort of turn the corner on your real estate career. 281-401-9008, text eXp. We'll be back. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Robert and Jason here with Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Real Network. We're joined by Brent and Connor. We're talking about eXp, and we're going to talk to all our friends in California right now. California, yes, absolutely. So for those of you who may or may not know, I lived up in the Valley for about a decade. Love my time in California. Can't wait to get back to the OC, pick up a nice little duplex in Dana Point somewhere, and enjoy my time at the beach in Southern California. Which is why we're on the radio, why you're hearing us here.
That's right.
Yeah, in the Inland Empire here, Riverside. You should also be hearing us in Orange County, Southern LA County. But we want to talk to you about eXp, and this is the fun part. So if you're home, it's time to take out your calculator, and Connor's going to run you through a little math lesson. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, well, obviously the big benefit to eXp that other brokerages don't have, that we have, is our extra income streams, our ownership, our stock awards, and the revenue sharing. But I think a lot of people overlook that we have just a traditional split cap model, 80-20 split, 16 cap, and what we're seeing is luxury agents all across the country, the Northeast, especially down California, is that they don't have a cap. And I've talked to a lot of agents recently that kind of put up a hand in a roadblock, said, well, we're on 90-10, I don't need an 80-20. But we have a $16,000 cap. And a lot of these luxury brokerages and high producers, they don't have a cap.
Sure.
They're paying 90-10 off of $30, $40, $50 million production. And when you run the math on it, when you have an 80-20 split for 16K cap, after we cap here at eXp, we go down to a transactional shop rate for $250 a piece. So I say don't take the math test without somebody who knows how to give you the answers, because the last agent we brought on left over $100,000 on the table last year, and he wasn't looking at eXp because we're 80-20, he was on 90-10. I said, what happens after cap? He said, we don't cap. And I said, let's get to a net number. Let's get out of emotion. Let's look at math and business sense. And he was shocked, because when you don't have a cap, you're paying in across your entire sales volume. So he's going to come over here in his first two transactions, cap in 2 houses. So
I was going to say, you're going to cap in like one house in California, right?
Well, let's talk about it. So let's say you're, because right now we're in the Riverside market right now. So you're in Corona, and I'm going to say, the average sort of nice house in Corona is going to be between $700,000 and $800,000. You're not going to find anything in Corona under $400,000. And if it is, it's a condominium or townhouse, right? But even still, that condo and townhouse is at $350,000. But let's just say you're going to do 2 houses and 2 condos. That's going to put you over $2.6 million, which means you're going to be capped with us, and then it's 100% of the revenue, right? Minus a little $400, $500 transaction fee. $250, right? So guys, when you're looking at this stuff, especially folks in California, I'm talking to Paul, and I'm talking to Alton, and I'm talking to Jay, and I'm talking to all the other folks in our groups out there, this becomes a real no-brainer, because I'm just talking about the Inland Empire. I'm talking about Corona, right? We can go even a little further out. We go up to San Bernardino. We're still doing transactions at $280,000, $290,000, $300,000 for, not the greatest place in the world, but still okay. You're going to go up the mountain. You're going to go to Lake Gregory. You're going to go to Lake Arrowhead. Everything up there, $400,000, $500,000. And then finally, when you come to the OC, you're going to be sitting at about $1 million average transaction. 2.5 transactions is going to get you capped, and now you're at 100%. Same thing with LA. I was watching some of those protests and some of this, the bad stuff that was happening in LA, and the only thing I'm thinking about is I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's Van Nuys Boulevard. I know exactly where they are.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, just one block back, that's a $900,000 house.
Mm-hmm.
So sell 3 of those, everyone who's working in the valley, sell 3 average houses in the valley at $800,000, $900,000, you're capped. You're at 100%. eXp, and then, my God, getting to the stock options, and then 5% of the commission. Holy cow, your growth is super accelerated. And in that market, in that North Jersey market, where we're also at, that North Jersey market where we're looking at, something in Saddle River going for 1.6 million, 1.8 million as an average sort of house. We're selling a house right now in Westfield. The average house there is like $860,000. Again, you got to get 3 of those, you get your cap rate, and then that growth becomes so much. There's a velocity of growth right after that in those marketplaces. So, again, we can work River Oaks here, we can work some really high-end neighborhoods in Houston, but the advantage of being in Southern California or North Jersey outside of New York City, where the average income, the FHA minimum loan doesn't even cover the average cost of the house out
That's
there.
right, yeah.
Because they're $860,000. My goodness.
Yeah.
Being an eXp agent in those marketplaces just becomes, again, this person was leaving over $100,000 on the table. How much are you guys leaving on the table? Not just with the income today, but with your income for the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely, guys, you've got to reach out to us. You've got to text right now, 281-401-9008. eXp. If you're in Southern California, that's where you're hearing us on the radio. If you're in Northern Jersey, that's where you're hearing us. New York City, Connecticut. If you're hearing us, you've got to text us immediately. We've got to get you into the eXp family because you're leaving thousands upon thousands of dollars on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I get a little crazy.
Well, that's what it's like you said. It's a total no-brainer for the folks that are working those higher-end luxury markets, whether it's in California or high-end luxury markets here in Houston or in New York and New Jersey. Our show's coast to coast, so it's any of those. When you're at those higher than median national median home prices, especially with no cap, it makes so much sense. And you're literally leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, sit down with us. Let's get you a net. Let's get you something tangible.
Sure.
At least know what you're leaving on the table before you say no. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! When you think about the average house in Compton, South Central LA, is higher than the average home in Texas.
Yeah, and Compton's not the Compton you thought from
No,
the Dr.
it
Dre
ain't
days.
like that.
It's not,
No.
Not like that anymore.
$600,000 houses. You go to, with the football stadium and all that internal growth and the light rail. I mean, it is all completely different.
Mm-hmm.
You're working inner city LA, but you're selling $700,000-$800,000 houses.
Yeah, it's wild.
And then, so for agents in Southern California,
Right.
East Coast, whenever you get into eXp, you get plugged in, and then you just trust me. The way it happens, people are standoffish.
Yep.
Don't get it. It's new. Never heard about it. Yada yada yada. Then they take the time to look at the model. They come in. They join eXp. They're like, oh, the water's pretty good here.
Mm-hmm.
I like the stock. I like the revenue share. I like the medical. Then they start telling people about it. So what happens when you're in California, when you're in the East Coast, anywhere really.
Yep.
But when you have friends who are also listing and selling $1 million properties that are in your downline, your revenue shares are really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a quick story, of the power of the eXp model with the day and age we live in. A guy connected with me on LinkedIn, said, hey, can we talk about this? I'm interested. He was in another market. He's a commercial broker. Had a conversation. Connor, he's like, hey, let me connect you with Connor as well. Whenever I was just getting started, so Connor was really good with the presentation, so I've leveraged my upline, and that's what we're doing for everyone listening to this, is like, we are here available for you. So Connor hopped on one call with them. I had one call with them. The guy joined immediately. Called me a couple weeks later, said, hey, I'm selling a $4.5 million piece of real estate. Don't know how to, do everything. I'm just figuring this out. And I'm like, to be honest with you, I don't either. I've got a full-time assistant who does that. Let me connect you. And he's like, well, to clarify, like I just need to get paid because this thing's closing in a few days. So it was literally off one phone call, one connection, showing them the model. You know, it was several $1,000s in revenue share that the company paid me by just making this introduction one person. So that can happen over and over and over for anyone listening to this. Really.
Yeah. Again, if you're in Southern California, if you're in North Jersey, Connecticut, New York City area, the benefits of coming with eXp are exponential in those markets. Is the best way to describe it. So text 281-401-9008. Text eXp, and we'll make sure we hook you up with Brent, and he's going to walk you through it, and then it's just no longer leaving those dollars on the table. 281-401-9008 eXp.
We'll be right back.